there, friends. It's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And we're here with just the zoo of us, your favorite animal review podcast, where we take your favorite species of animals and we review them by rating them out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we do a lot of research and try our best to make sure we're presenting information from trustworthy sources.
Particularly this week, I have so much information. I got a good solid 4 pages of notes for you.
Oof. Well, that's good.
And I should say that this week, our theme is inspired by Animal Crossing: New Horizons, the Nintendo Switch video game, which recently got a big update, added a ton of content to the game, and has kind of revitalized it. So we are visiting a couple of animals that feature in the Animal Crossing New Horizons game. That being said, if you're not familiar with the Animal Crossing's games, don't worry. It's not required for understanding of this episode. We're just talking about the animals.
Yeah.
But we'll mention Animal Crossing.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Anytime I see the acronym for Animal Crossing.
ACNH.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, the first thing I think it is Assassin's Creed New Horizons.
What a crossover that would be.
I don't know why.
Assassin's Creed New Horizons. There's some potential there, I'm sure.
Yep.
Very different vibes.
Yeah.
Totally different games. I bet you could at least do like the cool like hood as like a wearable item for your character in Animal Crossing. But of course, this will be enjoyable with no knowledge whatsoever of the Animal Crossing games.
Yep.
It's my turn to go first this week.
Awesome.
Which is great because this is going to be a me-heavy episode because I have so much to talk about. I'm really excited to talk about this animal.
All right, let's hear it. What we got?
This is the ocean sunfish.
Big fish.
Big, beautiful boy. Scientific name is Mola mola, which I think is so catchy and nice. It is. Mola mola. So this species was submitted by @OldLoam on Twitter. It's a cool handle, I think. And I'm getting my information from the Monterey Bay Aquarium, Animal Diversity Web, National Geographic, and oceansunfish.org.
What?
Which is a website that is made and maintained by marine biologist Dr. Tierney Tees.
Okay.
Who is a fantastic wealth of information on ocean sunfish. So that's where I'm getting my facts from. The ocean sunfish, I should say, you can find in Animal Crossing New Horizons. You can catch them off of the shores of your island or other islands that you may visit, and you can donate it to your museum and have it displayed in your aquarium there. We have it on our island.
Yeah.
We have one in our museum on our island where it swims around in the big tank with the whale shark and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to check what time of year they're available.
Yeah, so for those unfamiliar, that's one of the things with this Animal Crossing, not Assassin's Creed game, where, you know, the stuff you catch kind of can be season dependent. Right.
And then also that can be broken down by the hemisphere you are playing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Right, because like different animals will be available during different seasons depending on whether you're in the northern or the southern hemisphere.
Oh, okay. So it's still season based, but based on your local season, which is different based on hemisphere. Right. Okay, got it.
Which makes sense because that's real life, right?
Yeah,
the seasons are flipped around on planet Earth, which I think is a cool element of like real world immersion.
Oh, yeah.
But so, yeah, I did want to incorporate what Blathers will say about the ocean sunfish when you donate one.
Okay.
So I phoned a friend.
Awesome.
I brought in our friend Sophia Osborne, who is one of the hosts of the podcast Beyond Blathers, which I've told you about before.
Oh, yeah.
And I've mentioned on this podcast before. Actually, the other host of Beyond Blathers, Olivia DeBercier, has been on the show. She did our Christmas episode last year, where she joined us to talk about reindeer, which was a delight. Beyond Blathers is a podcast that is specifically about the bugs, fish, and fossils you can find on your island in Animal Crossings, and they go super deep in depth into all those critters. So if you like Animal Crossing, absolutely for sure, go check out Beyond Blathers. So I asked Sophia if she could share with us what Blathers says when you donate an ocean sunfish to the museum.
If you bring an ocean sunfish to Blathers, he'll say, The ocean sunfish is a large relative of the blowfish with an unusual shape, like a fish head with a tail. They are a fairly relaxed species, often content to ride where the currents take them. This is fortunate, as otherwise, the sight of a large head coming toward you might be alarming.
And that's what Blathers has to say when you donate an ocean sunfish.
That's awesome.
A couple things in there that I'll mention during my review of the facts about the sunfish.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to get into it. If you are not at all familiar with the ocean sunfish, they can be up to 10 feet or 3 meters long or tall. So, long ways, like nose to butt, or tall ways from the tip of their dorsal fin to the tip of their what's called their anal fin on the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can be as tall as they are long, which is very unusual for a fish.
They're just ocean squares.
It's more of like a diamond, I guess, because it's kind of tilted on a side. And they can weigh up to 5,000 pounds.
Big.
Or 2,200 kilograms for our metric listeners. So marine sunfish in the Mollidae family are the largest bony fish, which is a term that describes fish which have skeletons made out of bone as opposed to cartilage.
Right.
So it basically just specifically excludes sharks and rays while still describing fish. The largest specimen ever recorded was originally identified as mola mola, but it was later corrected. Turns out it wasn't mola mola.
Oh.
In 2018, they went back to the specimen, looked at it again, found out it wasn't mola mola. It was a fish called Mola alexandrini.
Huh.
Closely related, like a cousin of mola mola, but not quite mola mola.
When you say go back to the specimen, is this, they were just looking at a picture extra close, or is this like a preserved?
I think it was a preserved specimen that they went back and looked at.
That's a big jar.
It was probably like a skeleton. I don't know what condition the specimen was kept in. All I know is that they went back later and were like, oh, it's actually this other type of mola.
Okay.
Yeah. But that being said, they're all huge. They're all massive. Doesn't make it any smaller. And they're so big because they are pelagic fish. This means that they're found out in the open waters of temperate and tropical oceans all over the world. These are big boys. They need a lot of space. So you're not really going to find them close to the shore or anything like that. Well, sometimes, like during certain times of year, they'll come closer to the shore. But for the most part, you're going to find them way out in the open sea. They're in the taxonomic family Mollidae, which they share with 4 other species of mola. So there's 5 total species of marine sunfish, which I specify because there are freshwater fish called sunfish, completely unrelated.
Oh, okay.
They don't have anything to do with these sunfish. It's a coincidence that they're called that.
Okay.
So I will probably say marine sunfish. Ocean sunfish is the common name for this specific species, but like marine sunfish, meaning like not the little bitty freshwater guys. They're cute. The little freshwater sunfish, they're nice fish, but they're not what we're talking about today.
Okay.
Marine sunfish belong to a larger order called Tetraodontiformes. It's a big word. But their closest cousins in this order are pufferfish and porcupine fish.
Huh.
Blathers called them blowfish. I don't know if I've ever heard them called blowfish.
I've heard that before.
You have?
Yeah.
I don't think I have. It makes sense because they blow up, right?
Well, I've never thought about it in terms of, does that apply to pufferfish and or porcupine fish, right?
I just know that that's what's in their family.
Yeah.
And like at a glance, you would think, oh, that's weird. They don't look anything like each other. But you can really see the similarity between them in the baby sunfish.
Oh. Baby
sunfish look a lot like pufferfish. They're round and spiky.
Huh.
Yeah. And then they kind of grow out of it as they get older.
Huh.
But also, they both have a very similar dental situation where both of them have their teeth that are kind of fused into these 2 plates that make kind of like a beak. Have you ever looked really closely at a pufferfish's face? You know how it has these 2 kind of tooth plates that are curved into like a beak?
Yeah, because they eat like crabs and things, right?
Sure, yeah. So mola mola has kind of the beak.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as obvious because theirs is kind of like up inside their mouth a little bit more. But when you really get a good look at their mouth, you can be like, okay, yeah, you can see the similarity with pufferfish. Huh. That's kind of where the similarities kind of end.
Sure.
So I just thought that was neat. We you know about pufferfish, probably, you know.
Yeah,
so if you've
yeah.
never heard of sunfish, you've probably at least heard of
The
pufferfish.
famous one on TikTok.
So if you have never seen an ocean sunfish before, it looks totally unlike any other type of fish, right? This is an extremely identifiable fish. Most fish have a tail fin, which is called a caudal fin, which comes in lots of different shapes. But the most common shape is sort of this like two-lobed fin, vertically aligned, right? So it's got an upper lobe and a lower lobe. The sunfish, however, does not have a caudal fin at all. There's just no fin back there.
None.
The fish just kind of ends. So it's like the body just ends with this round, blunt edge. It's called a clavis, and it uses the clavis to steer like a rudder, as opposed to most other fish which use their tail for propulsion, right? They'll wag their tail back and forth, and that pushes them through the water. Sunfish does not do that. They really just use it for steering, and that's kind of it.
It's like a panoramic shot gone wrong.
Or like they moved the camera too fast. That is what it looks like. Yeah, it's a very, you know one when you see it, that's for sure. So another identifying trait of it is that its dorsal and anal fins that I mentioned earlier are just very, very large. And they stick straight up and down, like perpendicular to the rest of the fish. Most other fish have kind of a streamlined, like hydrodynamic sort of form to them, where everything is kind of leaned back, like tilted towards the back of the animal. Not so with the sunfish. They're getting creative with angles on their fins. They just stick straight up and down.
Yeah.
Which gives it a very unique look. And then meanwhile, their pectoral fins, which is the name for the fins that are maybe, you might think of them as the fish's arms.
Right.
Their pectoral fins are like comically small.
Oh, no.
They're so little. They're the teeniest little pectoral fins. Of course, they're not like small, but in proportion to how big the fish is, their fins are so little. They look like little T-Rex arms.
Oh, no.
It's just pitiful to see them swimming around, and they got their tiny little pectoral fins that are just flapping around. A lot of things that set this fish really far apart from other fish in the world.
Right.
You see one, you know exactly what it is. Of course, there's other types of sunfish other than just mola mola that all share a similar body plan with some variations on it. Like one of them, the clavis, has like a big spike that comes out of the back of it. They'll have like a different edge to the clavis. Like the mola mola has a scalloped edge. Some of them, it's just like blunt. There's a little teeny one. There's a small marine sunfish. So like there's some variation between them. But for the most part, that's generally what a sunfish looks like. Okay. So let's get into the ratings for this guy. Some people may be a little bit surprised by some of my ratings, but I'll talk about why they may be surprised later. First up is effectiveness, which for this podcast is physical adaptations to the animal's body that let it do a good job of the things it's trying to do. I give the ocean sunfish a 7 out of 10.
Impressive.
I feel like people maybe expect me to give it a very low score, but I do give it a 7 because there are reasons why it is the way that it is. Let me ask you this. What do you think the ocean sunfish eats typically? Like, what do you think its favorite meal would be? You're going to a house party at the ocean sunfish's place, and you have to bring a dish that's going to really please him. What do you bring?
I don't know. You said they're pelagic, right?
Yeah.
Shrimp? I don't know.
I mean, they probably wouldn't spit out a shrimp if they got a hold of one, but shrimp are probably a little too tough for them. Their diet is made up mostly of jellyfish.
Really? Okay.
Pretty much just jellyfish. And they will eat, other soft-bodied invertebrates, but it is typically jellyfish that they're after.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This is a bit surprising that they reach such massive sizes because jellyfish are not at all nutritionally dense. They're mostly just water. Right? A jellyfish has very little there's not a lot of meat there, right?
Yes, yeah. Unless you, I guess, catch one with a fish being eaten.
Oh, right. Like how sometimes they'll catch prey and they have it still digesting in their body.
Yeah.
No, but they just go for jellyfish. So, and they can eat jellyfish without being stung because they have a thick mucus that lines their digestive system. Good. A lot of animals that eat jellyfish have some sort of defense against those stinging cells, right?
I would hope so.
Poor jellyfish, like they specifically evolved this defense mechanism to not be eaten. And there are so many things that have just been like, no, actually, there are so many ways that they figured out how to just absolutely trash jellyfish.
I mean, they're some of the lowest hanging fruit of the ocean, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously there's, enough of them to sustain these massive, massive fish that are preying on them. So the ocean sunfish is not exactly known for zipping around, which Blathers mentioned, that they Blathers describes it as going where the current takes them, which implies that they just drift, which is not entirely accurate. They do cruise around pretty slowly. They're not exactly booking it. And for a long time, they were thought to be drifters that just floated along currents. But they're now better understood as actually active swimmers. They can get pretty decent bursts of speed when they want to, and they can even breach completely out of the water.
Really?
Yeah, they can yeet themselves a good 10 feet out of the water.
That's quite a bit of momentum for that size of fish.
Right? Yeah, you got to really be booking it to get that. They can completely clear out of the water.
Wow.
I'll talk about why they do that later, but I just thought that was impressive. They have to get a pretty good burst of speed going to get that. And so, understanding them only as drifters, I think, is inaccurate.
Sure.
I mean, and it makes sense, too, that they don't really book it that often because, like, when your primary prey is just squirting through the water completely at the mercy of the current, like, you probably don't really have to swim that fast very often. You can get away with some pretty chill speeds most of the time.
But breaching probably uses, 100 jellyfish worth of calories.
You know what? I have this in my notes later, but Dr. Tierney Tees that I mentioned earlier, she gave this TED Talk back in 2003 that I watched as part of my notes for this. And she cited the stat that it takes 100 jellyfish to yield 4 calories.
No.
That's what she said.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's mostly nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can imagine getting enough fuel to...
It's like a single grape.
It's like a grain of rice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, but so that makes it all the more impressive that they can, sustain themselves on just jellyfish. But one thing they are really good at is diving. Ocean sunfish have been recorded diving as deep as 884 meters, which is about half a mile down into the water column.
Okay.
Searching for food. They dive down there to look for more jellyfish. They're especially looking for siphonophores, other soft-bodied critters they can find down there.
I was wondering as to the why, because I guess when I think jellyfish, I think of those big schools of them near the surface. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and there are, medusa floating down lower in the water column too. But so they dive down, and they do this all the time, all day long. They're going down and coming back up and going down and coming back up. I saw a stat that said up to 40 times a day. And to pull this off, ocean sunfish do not have swim bladders. Like most other, or I wouldn't say most, but like many other fish have a swim bladder, but they don't. But what they do have is a gelatinous layer beneath their skin that is positively buoyant. So the jelly that makes up this layer under their skin is less dense than seawater. So that helps lift them and it makes them neutrally buoyant. So they can control their depth in the water.
Okay. It's
not rare for fish to not have a swim bladder. Like sharks don't have swim bladders. It's not that big a deal that they don't have one. I just thought this layer of jelly was an interesting thing. An interesting way to, combat the lack of a swim bladder, that they're just encased in jelly. Huh. Like a gusher. So I did take off a couple of points. First of all, it's free real estate. So because of how big they are and how typically slow they move, they are Disney World for parasites.
Oh boy.
Yeah. At least 50 types of parasites are known to live on sunfish. Some of those parasites even have their own parasites that live on them. So you get this matryoshka nesting doll of parasites where it's just parasites all the way down.
Now, when you say parasites, are you talking about like something like the whale mites we talked about?
Yeah, it could be all sorts of stuff. So there's like isopods, copepods, barnacles, stuff like that. Yeah, animals that will latch on to the fish as it swims around. But they do have mutualistic relationships with other types of fish that I'll talk about in the ingenuity section. The only other thing that I took off a point for in their effectiveness is that their main defenses are really just their size. And they have this like kind of thick leathery skin that's really rough and sandpapery, and that kind of helps. So don't think of the sunfish as a DPS. Think of it as a tank. Like it's really just like moving slow through the water. It's big. It's using kind of that like giraffe tactic of like just being so big that nothing else will bother to really try to prey on it. Does that make sense?
It does, but how does it pan out?
I mean, kind of. They have high, what's called fecundity, which means that they make a lot of babies.
Oh, okay.
And then, the likelihood that one will make it to adulthood where it reaches such a massive size is pretty low, but they're able to produce very many of themselves. And if they do happen to make it to adulthood, fantastic. They'll be 10 feet long. They are preyed upon by like big animals, right? So like large sharks will take them down, orcas. A big predator of them is the California sea lion.
Okay.
California sea lions are very smart and they're very fast. I read an account of California sea lions intentionally removing the fins of sunfish and tossing them around like frisbees.
Oh man.
Yeah, they're mean.
Why do marine mammals got to be like that?
Marine mammals have an attitude problem for sure. So yeah, I mean, obviously they're not invincible, but once they get to a pretty big size, there's not a ton that's gonna try to eat them, which is really the goal, right? You want to not get eaten.
Yeah.
So moving on to ingenuity, this by far was the most surprising thing for me. I ended up giving them an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
They do some really clever stuff. Ingenuity, by the way, for us is behavioral adaptations that the animal is employing, things like strategies it might be using to survive, make it to the next day, the next generation. I give the ocean sunfish an 8 out of 10 because it has some really interesting behaviors. So sunfish know that they have a parasite problem. They're aware that they have these parasites on them. They're not just like lumbering around completely, oblivious to this parasite party going on their skin.
No ignorant bliss.
No, not for them, tragically. Okay. You kind of wish that they didn't, like you see how many they've got and you're like, oh, I wish you didn't have to deal with this. But they do have some really interesting ways that they tackle their parasite issue. One of them is breaching. Like I mentioned earlier, that they breach. This is to dislodge any sort of hop-alongs that might not be so firmly planted. So they will like jump up into the air and then slam back down into the water to try to break some of those parasites off. They will also swim in kelp forests and park themselves for cleaner fish to sort of pull up and eat away their parasites.
Oh. So
they'll come visit a little cleaner fish spa. And the cleaner, you've seen like cleaner wrasses and stuff like that, will just come right up and pick away their parasites and get all cleaned up.
Do they stop moving into these areas?
Yeah, they'll just chill.
So this is the kind of fish where it does not need to keep moving to keep water going over its
a lot of fish are able to stay still. You might be thinking of ram ventilation that a lot of sharks use to breathe. So some sharks do need to continue moving perpetually in order to keep the water flowing over their gills. The sunfish is fine to chill. But yeah, they can just chill out and let these other little fish pull up and nibble their parasites away.
Very good.
Something similar to that is the behavior that gives them their name of the sunfish. So they're called the sunfish because something they really like to do is swim up to the surface of the water and lie horizontally, flat on their side.
Oh.
You've probably seen videos of them doing this.
Yes.
Much to the amazement of onlookers who are often confused as to what they're looking at. Because it, like Blathers says, it looks like just a fish head with no body, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like the head of a much bigger fish that's just floating on the top of the water. But no, it's just a sunfish. So they like to lie on their side close to the surface, which serves a few different purposes. And one of them is to get them close to seagulls. And seagulls will pick the parasites off of their body. What did you think the seagull was going to do?
I thought you were setting up a trap scenario and then the sunfish gets the seagull.
Well, that would be great. That would be awesome if they did that. But no, they're not quite at that level. Seagull is not on their menu, which is probably why the seagull keeps coming back, right? If they know the sunfish is going to eat them.
Or that, or there's just no survivors to go back and tell them. I got my eye on you, sunfish.
What a long con that would be. Well, the seagull is helping the sunfish, is picking off the parasites. But there's another purpose that this basking behavior serves for the sunfish.
Okay.
So think back to when I was talking about how they dive down into the water.
Yeah.
When they dive down into the water that they're diving to is really dark and cold. So they get really chilly down there. It's really cold. They come back up to the water and lay in the sun to thermoregulate. So they're actually warming their body up to get them warm enough to go back down for another dive. Because they wouldn't be able to just stay down there all day long. It's too cold.
Right.
So they come back up to warm their body up. This is really interesting. They're like actually basking in the sun, which I think is so cool. So I found all of that information, like on their feeding behavior and stuff, in an article that is titled "Ocean Sunfish Rewarm at the Surface After Deep Excursions to Forage for Siphonophores." You can see why I didn't reveal that title earlier, because it was going to give away a lot of my neat surprises.
Yes.
And that article was by Itsumi Nakamura, Yusuke Goto, and Katsufumi Sato. And that was in the Journal of Animal Ecology in February of 2015, which also includes accounts of some very interesting and very clever feeding behaviors that I did want to mention that's not related to like the basking thing.
Okay.
So images that they took of sunfish feeding. So these were sequential images where they basically took like a bunch of pictures right after each other. So it's not exactly a video, but you can kind of see what's going on. Images of sunfish feeding suggest that they may be specifically only eating the parts of the jellyfish that actually contain nutrients. So they skip the bell part of the jellyfish, right? The big bulbous part that is mostly just water. They skip that. And they go for more the arms and the gonads of the jellyfish, because that's where all the actual meat of it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can, in the pictures, you'll see the sunfish swim up to a jellyfish that it's going to eat and only eating the part of the jellyfish that matters and leaving the bell behind.
I guess that really speaks to the kind of nutritional profit margin that it's working with here.
It is so it is razor thin.
Like the calories it's getting from the jellyfish versus the calories it's spending to digest the jellyfish.
Right. Like it's so narrow. They're so meticulous about what part of the jellyfish they eat.
Huh.
Yeah. So that they're not wasting effort by eating more of the jellyfish than they need.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting. But another thing is that sunfish are largely visual predators. They're diurnal, they rely on light, and they rely on seeing their prey to go find it. So it seems weird that they would dive deep into dark water. If they need to see their prey, how are they going to hunt visually in the dark? But this makes more sense when you think about what they're hunting, which are siphonophores. So siphonophores are relatives of jellyfish. They're not quite jellyfish, but they're like close. Many of those siphonophores that they're hunting are bioluminescent.
Oh, okay.
They glow in the dark. So they're swimming down into the dark to find prey that glows so that they can see it and hunt it.
It's probably easier to see them in the dark than it is closer to the surface, if those kind of things exist in both areas.
Yeah, like, so the siphonophores glow as bait for their own prey.
Right.
So that their prey will come to them. But it ends up being just like a homing beacon for the sunfish that's just like, hey, I'm over here. So the sunfish is swimming down into the dark where it can see its glowing prey.
Right.
How cool is that?
Pretty cool.
That's really neat. So I just thought that was so interesting.
It is. And you mentioned the relationship between siphonophore and jellyfish. I think one thing we talked about that's closer to the siphonophore is the man-o-war.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I think the man-o-war is like, it's not a jellyfish, right? But it is it a type of siphonophore?
It might be.
Yeah, I think it's a type of siphonophore. Yeah. There's lots of different types of siphonophores. They're basically they're like an animal that's like made up of a colony of other tiny little animals that don't even count as their own individual animal.
Right.
It's kind of like coral, if you think about it. They're like related to coral and anemones and stuff like that. All of that, I just feel like with some very interesting behaviors that the sunfish has developed. And also, they're often kept in captivity. So like the Monterey Bay Aquarium has captive ocean sunfish that they keep in their kelp forest area. And they are able to like train them to do certain things, certain behaviors to help them care for the sunfish. They'll like target train them. So they'll train the sunfish to swim to a certain target in order to get its food. So, to some extent, they're receptive to training, which I always think is a good indicator of some capacity for, learning and thought in an animal. That's obviously by no means the only way to tell that an animal is capable of those things, but I think it's a good indicator. I've never seen ocean sunfish in any captive environment, but I think it would be cool.
I was actually going to ask that before about it, so I'm glad you talked about it, because I was wondering, is it like the kind of thing where it can't be in captivity? But it sounds like it's just, I have just not visited an aquarium that has them.
Yeah, and I think they're challenging to keep in captivity because of their size, because of how big they get, but also like with how slow they are. You're not going to run into that problem of them, like you run into like with great white sharks, right? Where like they need more space to swim around because they get so much speed going. So yeah, I mean, sunfish are kept in captivity. I know of the Monterey Bay Aquarium. I don't know off the top of my head of other places that have them, but I'm sure there are other places that have them.
Cool.
But Monterey Bay Aquarium is like one of the places that you should go if you want to see them. So yeah, that's ingenuity for the sunfish.
Nice.
Some surprising stuff there. I was reading through these papers and it felt like every like couple minutes I was like, what? Are you kidding? It's pretty neat. So yeah, this brings me to our final category for the Mola Mola. This is aesthetics. I mean, y'all are going to be mad at me. I'm sorry. Y'all are going to be really mad at me. I'm really sorry for this, but it's a 3 out of 10 for me.
No, that's not too unexpected.
It's not the worst we've ever given anything.
Sure.
And I should say, I understand the charm. I like this animal. I like it. It passes the vibe check completely. It looks unique. I get it. It has a great attitude. It feels like the capybara almost, like of the ocean. It just has that sort of like unbothered, chill energy. You know what I mean?
I guess.
I like their vibe and I like what they're all about. I should even say I have an ocean sunfish sticker on my laptop that I actually got from Beyond Blathers.
Nice.
Olivia de Bercier drew and like illustrated and designed that sticker. I love it to death. There is an ocean sunfish on my laptop. I like this animal, but is it nice to look at? No, I'm sorry. My affection towards this animal is just purely based on respect for their hustle. Like it is not an admiration of their visual elements.
And you're also famously not super fond of fish in general.
Yeah, I mean, fish aren't my favorite things in the world in the sense that I don't enjoy sharing space with them.
Okay.
I like them from a distance. I don't like to be in the same place as them, particularly. I like them conceptually, I guess. I think that the ocean sunfish, to me, looks like if you gave a toddler a crayon and you asked them to draw a fish completely from memory and gave them no reference, I think they would draw an ocean sunfish.
That's pretty good.
It's like there's parts left off. There's parts that are just wrong. It looks like a toddler's invention of a fish.
Make a fish with geometric shapes only.
My favorite part, I should say, is the clavis, which is the butt of the ocean sunfish, because it has a butt instead of a tail, which I think is great. It is nice and scalloped, so it has this like sort of decorative pattern along the edge, which I think is pretty.
Could you describe, not for me, but other people that don't know, what does scalloped mean?
Oh yeah, for other people, definitely not you. Because you definitely for sure know what scalloped means.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of how you would describe it. It's kind of like a pattern of U shapes.
Okay.
Bumpy, yes. But like consistently bumpy, I guess.
Okay.
So I think that it comes from, if you look at the edge of the shell of a scallop, how it has those sort of ridges.
Okay.
It's sort of like a pattern of sequential like U shapes.
Okay, makes sense.
Some of them also have spots, which is kind of pretty, like have a nice sort of like white and brown, like spotted look, which is like, that's kind of pretty. But for the most part, most mola mola are just like this white with like a silvery sort of sheen. I've seen pictures of some of them that looked like just a touch of iridescence. And you know how I feel about iridescence?
Yeah.
So like if I'm going to give them a 3 out of 10, I feel like at least 2 of those points are from this potential for iridescence, which is very nice. Yeah, it's a goofy mess. It's not, I don't think it's a super beautiful animal, but I love it. I love it nonetheless, you know?
Right.
It doesn't have to be beautiful for me to love it. I feel like
it's an inner beauty.
It is an inner beauty thing. So to wrap things up for the ocean sunfish, their conservation status is vulnerable, with decreasing populations, according to the IUCN Red List. They are often caught as bycatch in commercial fishing because they're slow guys. They can't really swim away. Well, they could, but, you know, they're running on a pretty tight energy budget. Another thing is that plastic pollution in the ocean can be very dangerous for sunfish. You see this with turtles, too. Right. Because they do mostly eat jellyfish, it is easy to mistake a piece of plastic for a jellyfish, which poses an enormous choking hazard. So keeping the oceans clean is especially important for these big friendly guys and other critters. Obviously, everything is going to benefit from a cleaner ocean. So that's, I guess, my biggest action item for the ocean sunfish is keeping the ocean clean, being good stewards of our ocean, try to cut back on pollution when you can. And the last piece of information that I wanted to end on, I wanted to save this for last because I didn't want this to affect anyone's expectations going in. You may have heard of the ocean sunfish from a famous Facebook post.
Oh, this. Okay.
So there was a Facebook post made by a writer named Scout Burns in 2017. So to summarize, this post was a lengthy rant against the ocean sunfish. Basically just roasting it to ashes, right? Like this is just like mercilessly dragging the ocean sunfish.
Sunfish mudslinging.
Yes. But, you know, framing it as like a poorly adapted animal, which albeit lacking in perspective. So what made this post particularly like compelling and really made it sort of catch fire on social media was this underlying like visceral rage that the writer is really coming into this post with. Like this person is incensed by the existence of the ocean sunfish, which I am 100% sure it was purely facetious and for humorous effect, right?
Yeah.
It's a joke post. So I will grant that it succeeded at the humorous effect it was going for. It's a really funny post.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. That being said, largely non-factual. So, I mean, don't rely on funny Facebook posts for your, you know, marine biology information.
Gotta cross out some sources.
You know, my takeaway was that, haha, funny post. But that post was widely shared on social media and it continues to still make the rounds, right? Like every once in a while, it'll pop back up. It'll get shared on an article or something like that. And then, you know, it'll just have this new wave of being shared all over the place.
I know it's up there with the platypus doll Hall of Fame type of social media stuff.
Well, I have much stronger feelings about the platypus doll stuff, and I do not know why. I have no idea why I feel so strongly about the platypus doll stuff, but I really do. It just really cuts to the core of my being in a way that nothing else does. But so briefly after that post blew up, a different person named Xenia Sherman, who was originally referred to as a marine biologist, but later clarified that they are not actually a practicing marine biologist, but they do have a biology degree and have taken courses in marine biology. So this person posted a very thorough response that tackled a lot of the criticisms of the sunfish that this person, Scout Burns, had made in the original rant, basically just defending their honor as like a perfectly fine functional fish. This was a good post. It cited sources, linked to articles and stuff like that. It was a really good response. So that response was widely shared, but not as much as the original, obviously. I didn't appreciate that a lot of like BuzzFeed and stuff shared it and was like, marine biologist claps back at viral Facebook. You know when clapback was like the buzzword of 2017? You remember that?
Sunfish diss track.
Like everything was a clapback for like a year. It was so annoying. So that response got a good bit of traction, but I also did find a great blog post by Dr. Natasha Phillips. She has a PhD specifically in ocean sunfish ecology.
Excellent.
Yes, so specifically tailored to tackling this issue. And she provides a lot of really specific corrections to the Sunfish rant. If you're interested in reading that, you can find her blog at sunfishresearch.wordpress.com. I cannot quote any part of the Sunfish rant. It is extremely not safe for work. It is profanity laden. So if you are, on your own time, you're free to seek that out should you so choose. Understand, take the whole thing with a grain of salt. And now, go into it with everything that you've learned during this episode in your mind. So oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
To wrap things up, to finally bring it home for the ocean sunfish, it looks like a big goofy mess. It really does. It does not make an incredible first impression when you first lay eyes on this creature, but I feel like they effectively prove that looks can be quite deceiving. This is ultimately, it's a pretty good fish, actually.
Yeah.
Love you, ocean sunfish.
I definitely came away from this learning a lot.
I hope so. That was the intention.
Thank you, honey.
Of course, thank you. Let's take a quick break to hear some promos from our friends on the Max Fun Network.
Okay.
Hi, it's me, Dave Hill, from before, here to tell you about my brand new show on Maximum Fun, the Dave Hill Good Time Hour, which combines my old Maximum Fun show, Dave Hill's Podcasting Incident, with my old radio show, The Damn Dave Hill Show, into one new futuristic program from the future. If you like delightful conversation with incredible guests, technical difficulties, and actual phone calls from real-life listeners, you've just hit a street called easy. I'm also joined by my incredible co-host, the boy criminal Chris Gersbeck. Say hi, Chris.
Hey, Dave. It's really great
That's enough, Chris. And New Jersey chicken rancher Des. Say hi, Des.
Hey, Dave.
The Dave Hill Good Time Hour. Brand new episodes every Friday on Maximum Fun.
Plus, the show's not even an hour. It's 90 minutes.
Take that, stupid rules.
We nailed it.
Bria, what's your reader wheelhouse?
A woman on a journey, space, post-apocalyptic roads, and magical food. Mallory, what's your reader wheelhouse?
Werewolves, haunted houses, weird fiction, and books set in Florida for some reason.
We're Reading Glasses, and we want to know what your reader wheelhouse is.
We can use it to help you find more books that you love.
And avoid books that you don't. So whatever you like to read about and however you like to read it,
we want to help you read better.
Reading Glasses, every Thursday on Maximum Fun.
All right, Christian, let's hear it. What animal do you have for our friends this week?
Again, going with the Animal Crossing theme, I will be talking about the Tanuki.
This is very exciting.
Yes.
I love this animal.
Scientific name, Nycterutis vivarinus.
Interesting name.
Yes.
I like that.
Right off the bat, there is taxonomic controversy.
Spill the tea. Let's hear it. Let's hear about
First of
that
all-
hot taxonomy beef.
Yeah. So this is an animal that is also known as the Japanese raccoon dog.
Mm-hmm.
It is only one of those things, and it is Japanese.
It is that, though. It
It
has
is
that
that.
going for it.
So that controversy is that until very recently, it's usually been considered a subspecies of the common raccoon dog, which can be found outside of Japan.
Oh, the common raccoon dog.
Yeah. But
We won't be associating with the common raccoon dog.
exactly. So, according to a 2015 article, the Japanese raccoon dog should be considered a distinct species from the common raccoon dog, which is Nycterutis procyannoides.
I heard a word that I recognize in there, procyanid.
Yeah.
You can talk about procyanids?
No.
Okay.
What does it mean?
So procyanids are the family that includes raccoons.
Yes.
But it also includes things like coatimundis and genets and stuff like that. Those are
Okay.
procyanids.
Okay. I don't have anything to tie into that, unfortunately.
That's fine.
So, being considered its own species rather than a subspecies.
Sure.
So, a lot of the information I'm going to talk about is not specific to the Japanese raccoon dog.
Okay.
Because for the longest time, and still by some, it's considered a subspecies.
We ran into this with a dingo as well.
Okay.
We ran into this sort of taxonomy drama where nobody could quite figure out if it was its own thing or just part of another species.
Gotcha.
Obviously, neither of us are an authority on what should and should not be considered a species.
No, not even a little bit. So that article, by the way, was titled Evolutionary and Biogeographical Implications of Variation and Skull Morphology of Raccoon Dogs. Authors Song Im Kim, Tasuo Oshida, Hong Lee, Mi-suk Min, and Junpei Kimura.
Awesome.
So this species was submitted by Miranda Lowry in the Facebook group, as well as Tim Sarr and Sarah C. via email.
Thank you all. Great suggestion.
Yes, thank you so much.
I told you I was going to do it.
She did. I looked at the article. I think I reacted to a couple of things that are a couple of years old now. I'll be pulling my information mostly from Animal Diversity Web. Thank you again.
Love them so much. What would we do without them?
Yeah. So talk about what these guys look like. Where they get their name, raccoon dog, is because if you were to see them, they do indeed look like some sort of cross between a raccoon, a North American raccoon, and a dog.
They sure do, yeah. It's almost startling how similar they look to a raccoon.
Yes. So the reason they look like that, they have the long full fur, but they have more of a brown color with black kind of markings. They even have the black mask around their eyes, the long pointy nose, the slender legs, a short puffy tail. That's striped.
They have like the striped tail just like our raccoons do. It's like surprising to me how much they have in common with our raccoons.
Right. And in more ways than that too, but not so much taxonomically.
Sure.
So in terms of size, they are 4 to 10 kilograms, or 9 to 22 pounds, and 50 to 68 centimeters long, or 20 to 27 inches.
It's like medium to small size dog.
Yeah, it's like our dog size.
Yeah, we have a beagle.
She's a little heavier than that, but
that's because she's fat and old.
Same, honestly. But so, as the name suggests, they're endemic to Japan. This particular kind of the raccoon dog, at least. But the other kind are also native to Siberia, China, Vietnam, and Korea.
Okay, so like the whole Eastern Asian area.
Yeah, and they've also been introduced into parts of Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Fur trade, mostly.
Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. They prefer forests, forest borders, or dense vegetation, and they're known to find their way into human habitats while scavenging for food.
Good for them.
Right?
We have too much. They can have some.
They belong to the taxonomic family Canidae. Other relatives are in there that are dogs, wolves, and foxes. But among all those, they're their own thing, but of those, they're most closely related to foxes.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Could for sure see that, especially in the puffy tail.
Yeah. Yep.
We've seen Tanukis.
We have at the Atlanta Zoo. Yes.
They were sleeping, all curled up in a ball. I didn't get any good pictures because you couldn't really see their faces. But
it was a weird angle.
It was. We were like directly above them. Cute though.
So to dive into our first category of effectiveness, I'll be giving an 8 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good guy.
So they got dense and soft fur, which is good for the cold weather that Japan experiences.
True. It gets pretty chilly, especially up in the northern areas.
Yeah, and my understanding is they also have quite a bit of snowfall.
Yeah. You're going to need to bundle up a little bit.
Yep. However, so while they belong to that family of, that is also the same as dogs and wolves and such, they do not bark. But they are vocal, and they will whine, whimper, and mew.
Mew?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So that's more likeness to the fox, right?
Okay, yeah, sure. The foxes make some horrifying
That's true.
sounds.
Screech is how I guess I would describe it.
I'm glad that the Tanuki decided to nix that one.
They might. They're also opportunistic omnivores.
Okay.
So they'll eat things like insects, small rodents, amphibians, birds, and eggs, but also fruits, vegetables, roots, nuts, berries, the whole gambit.
Not picky. Which I feel like is not like the rest of the canid family, right? Like they typically tend to be more like carnivores, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And of course, that means they're pretty okay going through human garbage.
Go for it, man.
They can climb. So they're known to climb trees to forage for things. And like I mentioned, they can thrive pretty well in close proximity to humans, which I would count as a positive.
Yeah, I mean, the areas affected by human activity are not getting any smaller.
Right, and
so,
Japan is an island nation.
There's not a lot of other places you can go.
Right. So that wraps up effectiveness. Next is ingenuity. Again, 8 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a clever little guy.
First thing I want to talk about is parenting. I always find interest in parenting strategies nowadays.
Nowadays, you really developed that appreciation, huh?
Yeah.
We have a baby.
We do. So in late pregnancy, the male brings female food.
Good for him.
Right?
In late pregnancy. So he kind of like waits a little bit.
I'm guessing that's when it gets difficult for, the female.
Sure. And then, no, I get it. So he's like kind of caring for mom.
A little bit, yeah.
I like that because a lot of times animal dads will take care of the babies. Mm-hmm. But I like that he's taking care of mom before the babies get there. Right. That's nice.
But also, the male is involved in postnatal care.
Love that.
So the male and female will take turns watching the young while the other hunts.
I feel like this is not super uncommon for the dog family or the canine family, Like, you hear about, like, wolves, right? That wolves will form, like, a pack consisting of a family where both of the parents will care for the pups.
Yeah. And speaking of which, my next topic I labeled as power couple. They're known to live in pairs or family groups, and when they're sleeping or resting,
I already love where this is going. I bet this is going to get real cute real fast.
The way it was worded was they remain in contact while resting and sleeping.
You know what that means.
Cuddling.
They're cuddling.
So that's very cute.
Oh, gosh, that's cute. And there's already a cute animal, and when you just pile cuddling on top of it.
So this is also an animal that hibernates, and they do hibernate in pairs.
Oh, of course they do. Wow, that's charming.
Right.
It's delightful.
My next thing is maybe not so cute. They use latrines for communication.
For communication?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Olfactory based.
Oh, sure.
So the latrine is a place where a group of Tanukis will urinate and defecate, and then that is like an information exchange between family members and strangers.
Okay. Gross. That's nasty.
A little bit. I already talked about their vocal communication. So those sounds that they do make is used for communication between each other. They also communicate with body posture, particularly with tail position. So they'll kind of use their tail to. They'll even do the rollover for submissiveness thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, so they're doing a lot to express themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Very similar to how like dogs communicate with each other. It sounds like see a lot in common with.
Yep.
Which is really just, I know that probably the reason we find them so cute is because they look so similar to like dogs, which, humans are sort of programmed to find cute.
Yeah. I bet they don't smell good though.
Gosh, you're right. You're so right about that.
I couldn't find anything about that, but
nasty.
And then that brings me to my final category, aesthetics. I'm giving a 9 out of 10.
It's a perfect creature.
So I forgot to mention this, but their ears are short and rounded.
They are. I feel like this is a good way that you can tell them apart from a raccoon.
Right. And very soft, cute face, all around good.
Reminds me a lot visually of a red panda.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. I could see some sort of similarities between a red panda, which also a red panda, looks also like a raccoon.
Yeah.
All creatures that sort of resemble each other. But it's interesting that they so closely resemble an animal that they're not that related to, down to the markings, right? Down to the fact that they have the black mask, which is like pretty iconic. Right? Little trash bandit.
Right, yeah.
And the striped tail, too. Which you see the striped tail in other mammals, too, right? You've got, like, ring-tailed lemurs that are not related, but they have the striped tail. Or, like, quadrimundis, right? Like, other members of the procyanid family will have that, like, ringed tail. I would imagine that would indicate that it serves some sort of purpose. Maybe it's communication. Because you mentioned that they use their tail as, like, part of their body language.
Yeah.
So maybe, like, I'm thinking of other animals that have that ringed tail, like the ring-tailed lemur, is also a very social animal. Maybe that's for communicating with its buddies.
Maybe.
Interesting.
So moving into our miscellaneous information. So as a species, the common raccoon dog, least concern.
Doing okay.
Yeah. However, they are sort of popular in the fur trade.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of controversy around that, where a couple of stores in the United States that said they were making things of faux fur were actually using
Tanuki fur?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't want to dig too deep into that.
Yeah, because that seems not even cost effective at that point.
Yeah. Now, here's the part. It's not biology based at all.
Sure.
But it's their folklore background that I find interesting.
Yes, I definitely want to hear about their folklore background.
So in Japan, they have a long history of being involved in their folklore and, legends and that kind of thing. So in a lot of old Japanese stories, Tanukis are tricksters and will play mostly, harmless pranks on humans and passersby and that kind of thing. But they're also known to have powers of transformation.
Sure.
So they can
shape-shifting.
Yeah, exactly. So they're presented of having these abilities to shapeshift themselves and others and objects and stuff as part of this mischievous kind of goal, which is pretty interesting. One of the common themes, though, is that transformation involves a leaf.
Okay. It's all coming together.
Yes. So they'll use that leaf as part of the power to transform things.
Sure. It's the item component of the
spell. Yeah. Which leads me into my next thing here is about their media appearances. So first and foremost, Animal Crossing.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So in Animal Crossing, we have Tom Nook, who is kind of like what would you describe Tom Nook in this latest game as? Just the
landlord.
Yeah, basically. Now, that's his English name, Tom Nook. His Japanese name is Tanukichi.
There you go.
Yes.
And Tom Nook even kind of is made to sort of sound like Tanuki.
So the Animal Crossing games have been around for a while, right? I'm not sure about this one, but at least in previous ones, the translation of Tanuki was just translated into raccoon.
I think this was a localization thing.
Yes, which has happened a lot outside of this game. With any Japanese media that shows Tanuki, there's an unfortunate mistaken translation into English that they would just translate it to raccoon.
Right. I don't know if it's 100% a translation thing or just a localization overstep. Right, where you see this in other Japanese media where people would be like, the Americans won't know what this is. Change it to something else. Like the infamous Brock's Jelly Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
You see this happen a lot where people will be like, I don't think that this reference will land with American audiences. So they'll just change it to something that they think American audiences would be more familiar with.
Right.
So that's how you get Tom Nook being called a raccoon.
Yes. Now, to call us back to the leaf thing, one of the symbols in Animal Crossing is a leaf.
Yeah.
That's kind of his company symbol.
Yeah.
So you'll notice when he or his, I think, sons that run the shop, whenever they sell you something, it turns into a leaf.
Yeah, and when you have when there's an item that you drop on the ground, the symbol it takes is a leaf.
Yeah, so that's a callback to those kind of folklore tales.
That's so cute.
Right?
Oh, that's so interesting. And I wouldn't have known that, not being familiar with the cultural context of Tanuki in Japan.
So the cultural thing with Tanuki has kind of gotten to the same level as with some businesses. You'll see the money cat thing. Whereas you'll see little figures of Tanuki with a thing of sake and a hat and a token.
One particular one comes to mind where it's a figure of a Tanuki where it's all the one I'm talking about, right? It's really fat and it's has a weird face.
And that's the one you'll probably see too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's kind of the baseline of those little statues.
So funny looking.
Yeah. And some other media appearances are Pompoko, the Studio Ghibli. Is it Ghibli?
I would say Ghibli.
The Studio Ghibli movie from the early 90s.
Okay.
Where the whole story revolves around a family of Tanukis trying to fight off land developers.
I haven't actually seen the movie.
Me neither.
I haven't seen Pompoko.
This is the part where I talk about...
Okay. If you're listening with really little kids, we're going to be talking about some stuff that is not inappropriate in Japanese children media, but it would probably be considered inappropriate by Western children's media standards. So keep that in mind.
Yes. So in Japanese media, Tanuki are often depicted as having very large testicles. This is not because the animal itself has a particularly large anatomy.
Just taking some artistic liberties.
So here's where it comes from. It's pretty funny, actually.
Okay.
So first of all, the whole transformation thing.
Yeah.
But also there's a linguistic thing to where the words for scrotum and money are close enough to where you can make this connection of money
it's a
bags.
Pun.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pun.
Money bags. That's what it is. No, it works in English too, apparently.
But also with those transformation stories, even in those old transformation stories, you'll see one of the things that they're transforming is their actual I don't know what the best word is to use for this.
I mean, you've already said it.
I'm just going to use scrotum.
Okay. It's not my favorite word, but okay.
So they'll transform their bits.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect, actually. That's great.
They'll transform their bits into something else to maybe play a prank on someone or even do things like turn it into a boat. In this film, Pompoko, you'll actually see them do this to make parachutes.
Okay. And it should be said, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, it's by the standards of cartoons that you'll see that come from America, that would be considered wildly inappropriate, but that's just our thing.
In the English translation of that movie,
oh boy,
they were referred to as raccoon pouches.
Raccoon pouches.
Yes.
The pouches that raccoons just have.
Yes, but if you want to laugh, go look up the particular scenes of this movie, at least of this, because it's really funny. I think. And that's kind of the whole reason that it existed in the tales and such, because it's just funny.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, yeah, it's funny. I get it. Good on them.
So that same statue you referenced, if you were to look on the bottom of that statue.
There it is.
Yes.
And it's all based on a pun.
Yeah, basically.
I see why you like this animal so much.
It was funny. Some other media you'll see him in is a recent anime called BNA, Brand New Animal.
Yeah, she was a Tanuki, wasn't she?
The main character, Michiru, was a Tanuki, where she also had some transformation type powers.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I guess that's what that was referencing. That's interesting.
And of course, can't talk about the Tanuki without talking about the Mario series.
They spell it funny in the English version.
Do they?
Yeah, in the English version, the Tanuki suit is spelled Tanooki.
That's why I Googled it that way the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did.
So again, some of the things you'll see in there, the Tanuki's able to fly and that kind of thing. And that power up is often represented by a leaf. Right?
Yeah, you got to get the leaf and then it turns you into the Tanuki suit.
Yes.
I should say that was the first time I'd ever heard of a Tanuki was when I was talking to Isaac, my son, who is now 7, but at the time he was probably only 4 or 5. And he was super into Super Mario Maker. He was playing the Super Mario Maker game just like a lot, which through the course of playing this game, he learned the names for like all of the different mechanics of the Mario games. And at one point he was talking to me and he said something about a Tanuki suit. And I had no idea what he was talking about because I'd only ever seen Mario's Tanuki suit and I thought it was a squirrel or a raccoon or something, right? So I didn't really know what it was. But Isaac told me it was a Tanuki suit and I didn't know what that meant. So I Googled it and then that led me to like, why is it called a Tanuki suit? What does Tanuki mean? And then that led me to finding out what this animal was. And I had never heard of it before that. And that was just like a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. They're not often referenced in American media.
Yeah.
Charming little animal, though.
Yeah. And that's the Tanuki.
Thank you so much. I hope that we've introduced people to a new animal that they didn't know about today. I mean, if you've played Animal Crossing, then you've probably come across both of these animals. I mean, if you've played Animal Crossing, you've definitely come across a Tanuki because it's right there on the cover of the box. But yeah, I hope that you think of us when you're playing Animal Crossing.
And keep an eye out if you watch anime, it's a good chance you'll see it there too.
If it looks like a raccoon, it's probably a Tanuki.
Like even like the Naruto series has one.
Oh yeah. You literally came into recording this from watching Naruto.
I was watching Boruto, Ellen.
I don't know if you want to admit that on air. I wouldn't be so forthcoming about your anime habits if I were you. Thank you so much, darling.
Anytime.
Let's do like the fastest wrap up we've ever done because we've been talking for 1,000 years. Thank you so much to everybody who's listened today. I would like to also say thank you to everybody who came through when I asked gently for people to leave kind ratings and reviews for our podcast. You showed up, you pulled through, you left some incredible reviews. I do appreciate it. I have read every single one and it does heal my soul. So
an excellent mood booster.
It is so good. It really keeps us going. So thank you so much for doing that. I would like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network along with their other fantastic shows that you heard promos for earlier. And I'd also like to thank Louis Zong for our wonderful theme music. that you're about to hear fading in right now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.